Hey friends, Elizabeth here from Plant-Based Bride, and I'm back yet again with another Plan With Me video. This time I'm setting up my husband's bullet journal for August 2019, and he decided that this month he wanted a theme loosely based off of the Beach Boys and their kind of summery surf vibe. So that's what I'm going for this month. So for the cover page, Jason wanted me to recreate a Beach Boys album cover, and it has sort of these brightly colored overlapping abstract waves coming from the bottom up, and then a yellow title in the top right hand corner that says The Beach Boys, and then of course the album name, which we decided to leave off. So this is my version, and I decided to use the Moxidori Mermaid bullet journal stencil for these waves, just to initially draw them out in pencil to try to get them as uniform as possible. You can definitely freehand this, but I wanted it to look really graphic, and it helped me to make sure that each wave was exactly the same shape and size. So using my Tombows and Crayola Super Tips that I had on hand, I tried to generally recreate the color scheme of the waves coming down. You'll see, I'll show you the original album cover in a minute, and you'll see that it was clearly done digitally, so it looks different from my version. But I thought this was kind of a fun way to represent that album cover, and really does give a bright, summery beach feel. It was funny, as soon as I told Jason that I was doing a waves theme, he wanted a waves theme too, and immediately the Beach Boys came to mind. And it's kind of funny that he hasn't wanted a Beach Boys theme yet, because he's such a huge Beach Boys fan. Our first date was actually to go see Love and Mercy, which is a film about Brian Wilson, who is the most recognizable of the Beach Boys. And I grew up listening to the Beach Boys and really loving their music, and so did my husband. So that was kind of our first musical bonding moment, and a big part of us as individuals and us together is our love and appreciation of music, both as audience members and as musicians ourselves. So I'm glad that we could finally do something a little bit inspired by the Beach Boys without going over the top. So for the monthly, again, keeping it relatively simple, Jason has been using his monthly for pretty much all of his planning. He hasn't been using weeklies in the summertime, so I wanted to make sure he had enough room on each day of the monthly to write down anything he needs for events or anything he needed to remember. For the header, I wanted to have a very bold looking, slightly 60s inspired font for August, but then I used the bottom part of the mermaid template from Moxidori to create a wave shape along the bottom to leave off of the lettering, and I just felt like it gave such a cool effect. You can still tell that it says August, but that wave shape along the bottom, just very abstract and graphic, which to me very much feels 60s. 60s graphic design was very innovative and cool, and this just kind of made me think of that. For the art on this page, I wanted to keep it simple and bright and effective. So I used the third style of wave from this Moxidori template to get this very graphic sort of set of waves. And then I used the Moxidori compass protractor to create a perfect circle for the sun sort of setting over the waves. And then I used the tip that I learned from a subscriber that has saved my life, which is using washi tape to create perfectly straight lines with my Tombow brush pens. So I created lines that narrow slightly as they come in towards the sun so that they look like rays of sunshine. And I didn't want to do too many. I wanted to keep it very simple, but still get the message across. And I wanted the rays to kind of pass behind the monthly and to see them popping out between the two sections over the break in the pages and crossing to where the header is on the other side. This was really quick and easy to do, but I feel like it gives a really strong impact, and again, a very summery vibe. As always, if you want to know the specific materials I'm using in this video, they will all be linked down below in the description box, so check that out. Okay, so now I'm moving on to the next spread, which is Jason's invoicing spread. as I talked about last month, he decided he didn't need weeklies in the summertime, but still wanted a way to track invoicing and hours and all that. So we switched him to a single double page spread to handle all invoicing throughout the month. And last month we separated it into 6 sections for 6 different clients. And Jason told me that he didn't really need the 6 different sections. He'd rather just write them down as they come in whatever order they happen. So I'm not splitting it up by sections for clients, but just keeping it very simple, a spreadsheet to track the client, the date, the hours worked, the rate, the total amount earned, and then if that's been invoiced and if it's been paid. Along the top, I did an eye for invoicing in that same sort of graphic 60s style. And then on the other side, I did a tiny little graphic of a wave in a circle and then added a tiny bit of that yellow to tie in the theme. It's funny, last month, our color scheme was blue and yellow for the Van Gogh theme. And this month, it just happened to kind of be that again, blue for the waves and yellow for the sunshine. I'm not mad at it. I love this color combination. I ended up deciding I wanted to create a similar sort of cutout wave feel on that eye, especially because just the way I drew it, I felt like that bottom section I pulled out a little too far and it almost looked like a J. So I went back in using first a white gel pen and then my Posca white paint pen to cover up that bottom half to kind of give that similar vibe of a cutout. It's not quite as effective on a single letter just because you can't really get that full wave feel, but I feel like it ties in better with the other headers and lettering throughout the setup, so I'm happy I decided to do that. Now I'm moving on to the final spread I'm setting up, which is the first spread of notes. As I've talked about before, Jason needs to be able to write down notes every single day at work, little things he has to update in his sound design. He needs to write down mic numbers or write down certain scenes that he has to address, chords for when he's in a recording session. So starting last month, I decided to just give him a first notes page to start, and then he could use as many pages as he needed throughout the month. And then we start the next monthly after his last notes page. So again, I'm doing the notes header in the exact same way as I did for August, using that bottom part of the Moxie Dory mermaid template to draw out this wave shape to leave out of the header. Sometimes negative space can be the best way to get an idea across. Sometimes what you don't draw or you don't write can mean more than what you do. And I feel like this is a good example of that. And then for a little drawing, I decided to create a surfer catching a wave and tried to give it a very vintagey looking feel. The surfer is basically a tiny little stick lady. She is a girl because the Beach Boys love to sing about beach girls, California girls, surfer girls. So that's a little surfer girl catching the biggest wave of her life. And I really love how this turned out. Very quick and easy, a simple way to render a wave. And one of the reasons why I really liked this idea when Jason said he wanted to do a Beach Boys theme and kind of do his own version of a waves theme was that this is another way to do waves that doesn't involve watercolors, isn't nearly as detailed or intricate as what I did in my August plan with me. So this is a completely different way to get a similar effect, a very summery ocean waves kind of feel. I kind of thought these were perfect companion pieces so that if you felt my August plan with me was a little too intricate or you don't want to paint or do more detailed waves, this video gives you some examples of more minimalist, abstract styles of waves that you could use if you still wanted to do a waves theme in your bullet journal. And in general is just super bright and summery. So I'm really happy with this one. Jason really loves it. And I hope it was interesting for all of you to see kind of two different takes on a summery sort of ocean waves theme. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like me to do this again in the future, doing sort of two different versions of a similar theme in a month. In the past, I've tried to make our setups as different as possible to give you two really different options for themes and inspiration and ideas. But when Jason suggested this, I felt like this was a really great idea, just showing you that you don't need to have the exact same materials or you don't have to do a theme in the exact same way to kind of get the same idea across or to be inspired. There is no limit when creativity is involved. I want to thank Moxidori for sending me these 2 templates to use. They're really portable because they're very thin and flexible. You can easily pop them in the back pocket of your notebook to carry them around with you. The compass protractor is incredibly versatile and a great one to just kind of always have on hand. And then the mermaid template is really awesome if you want to do more of an ocean feel. And if you're not as good at art, or if you just don't have a lot of time, sometimes using templates can be the fastest and easiest way to add some decoration to your spreads without having to spend a lot of time or effort. So check out the description box for links to these templates, as well as every other supply I used in this video. Make sure to check out my August plan with me if you haven't seen that already. And thank you so much to my patrons. I appreciate you more than I can say. Extra special thanks to our newest patron, Kara. Welcome to the squad. I'm going to pop up on the screen some of the rewards that my patrons are getting for August. Definitely check out the link in the description box or in the card if you want to come join the squad. We would love to have you. I hope you're having a lovely summer or winter if you live in the Southern Hemisphere, and I will see you very soon in my next one. Bye, friends.